I'm going to be joined by a fantastic panel tonight. Contributing editor to Novara Media, Michael Walker, and one of my favourite Conservative MPs, Andrew Rosindell. Andrew, thank you for coming back again. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. This is not good news for the Conservative Party. I put up that polling there when I think it was More in Common had done a poll, and they of 16 and 17-year-olds, and only 20% would have put the Conservatives down in their little tick box at the election. I think actually 10%. I beg your pardon, 10%. Quite low down the list.
You were getting quite excited for a moment.
Yeah, I think that was 20% is high polling for the Tories.
I think that was Reform was on 20%. I think Labour was on 30%.
Yes, thank you for correcting me. I think you're right there. Yes. This is bad news for the Tories, is it not, if anything else?
Look, it's not about a political party. This is wrong in principle. You have to be 18 to stand for election. It's not right to have someone standing for election at 18 and then saying to people at 16 you can vote, but you can't stand. So there has to be the same level. You can't have a situation whereby people can vote in elections, but they don't have the other responsibilities that we all have in life. So if we are serious about our democracy, it's not about giving more and more people the vote. It's about a vote being of value and people understanding the importance of that vote and the impact it has. Now, people of a much younger age don't have responsibilities. They're not the wealth creators. So what you're actually doing is the wealth creators are bringing in the money to run the country, paying the taxes to keep Britain moving, but you're giving a say over all this to people that don't pay taxes and have, as we all know, idealistic views about the way things should work. Now, unfortunately, I'm afraid, Alex, I didn't have this flirtation with left-wing ideas when I was young. I've always been a conservative or believing in right-of-centre values, but loads of people of my generation at school were quite left-wing and were very ideological. But now I meet them, they've changed completely. They're not voting for left-wing parties anymore because they have to pay tax and they live in the real world. So to give votes to people of 16, look, why don't we have elections in schools? Have elections in the classroom or in schools. They're great because that teaches young people about what elections and politics are about. Don't give them a real vote. Wait till they're 18. And I think leave it as it is. To change it, frankly, it's Keir Starmer gerrymandering.
There we go.
My question to you, Andrew, do you recognise the problem that I've isolated, which is that with an ageing population, you have policy which is increasingly oriented towards the older generation, and that makes it harder for younger people, and especially young parents. And I think that does feed into the fact that we do have a problem when it comes to people having children, because it's very difficult, because it's really difficult to sort of change the triple lock pensions, for example. But the fact that renting is incredibly expensive doesn't get that much attention, because briefly, it's homeowners and older people that have the power electorally. You're giving people more and more rights without responsibilities. That's where things are going wrong in this country. People expect more and they want more, but they don't have the responsibility.
But pensioners don't pay much tax.
Well, pensioners worked all their lives. Many of them have fought for this country.
And young people are about to work all of their lives,
and they've contributed, and they should be given a fair share in their older age. But frankly, giving young people the vote, they're going to vote for things which are unattainable, ideologically driven, and frankly, it's going to end in a mess. And they're not going to pay the bills of the costs of the policies they're voting for.
OK, thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll see you again very soon. My panel, Andrew Rosindell and Michael Walker. Andrew, do you think the government should have stepped in and kept this as a bargaining chip?
Absolutely. I think that this government is just giving away every bargaining chip on every issue you can imagine. The fact is that there are people in this country that shouldn't be here, that they are a danger. They are people that don't respect our nation and our traditions, and we should use every possible method to ensure that they are rejected from the country. But is this government going to do it? I don't think they will. I think they're too afraid because they will lose votes in constituencies that they need to win to be in government.
OK. It is civil war, question mark? Is the Labour Party going to war with itself? Earlier on this week, a poll revealed a Jeremy Corbyn party would draw level in the polls with the Labour Party. Andrew, Diane Abbott suspended again. Many people will be wondering whether it was a waste of time to unsuspend her and bring her back into the party in the first place, given that she can be a little bit of a serial offender when it comes to misdemeanours publicly. Is this sort of like the last time we're going to see Diane Abbott in the Labour Party? Are those days gone? Is she one of those people you'd expect to defect? And were the comments stupid?
Well, first of all, I think Keir Starmer's sowing the seeds of his own destruction. I think Angela Rayner's probably licking her lips at the divisions in the Labour Party today. The Labour Party is terribly demoralised. I speak to a number of Labour MPs that I'm friendly with, and they're now freely saying that they think they'll only have one term. So Keir Starmer is driving Labour into the ground, in my view. Now, Diane Abbott, my politics and hers, as you will guess, are very, very different. But I've known her a long time. I've known her 25 years. And she's a character. She's a very popular local MP. She's quite a caring person. She's got her principles. I don't agree with most of them. Some of them we actually do agree on, but the vast majority we don't. But she's somebody that has actually contributed to Parliament over the years in a very strong way, and sometimes a very positive way. And she's respected by people of all parties. So I don't agree with her comments. I don't like her politics generally. But I think the mother of the house should be treated with a little bit more respect than she's getting from the party that she has given loyalty to for so many years.
Well, I don't know how that loyalty manifests, because she is one of the people who's consistently voted against Labour governments throughout a whole of her time in Parliament. And this was the final straw, I think, where she's doubled down on these comments, these incredibly offensive comments, saying there's a hierarchy of racism. And I just wonder what the Machiavellian plot behind it is.
I'm condoning her comments.
No, of course. But I'm suggesting she might be doing it on purpose because she wants to leave the Labour Party.
Look, we have a different opinion about what loyalty means, because being loyal to your party doesn't mean you just blindly go along with everything the party does. Sometimes you do have to speak out. I've rebelled against my party on occasions, but I've done it for the right reasons. And I think she is a woman of principle, and I think she has been treated unfairly. Look, I'll be honest about it. I think it's probably her last term. I can't see she's going to stand again at the next election. No. And I wish her well for the future. But look, when someone becomes very senior, they've been around a long time, they're doing their own independent thing, I think Keir Starmer would be cleverer to go with the flow rather than to start punishing her in public yet again.
Comment from you, very, very brief, 10 seconds, Andrew. What do you think is going to happen? Are Labour going to lose out in the future to the Corbynist party?
Yes, I think they will. And the problem with the Labour Party, they've lost all sense of purpose. I'm not a socialist, but I respect people like Jeremy Corbyn, because he's always been consistent. He stood up for what he's believed in. Don't agree with him, but there is a role for people in politics with principle.
OK, Andrew Rosindell, Michael Walker, Paul Richards, thank you very much.